Hello. Hello, hello. Howdy, hi, welcome. Come on in. Look, I've made it so that my mouth actually moves when I talk. Yippee. Everything's coming up Twiins. I'm weirdly nervous. I was weirdly nervous before the start of this stream. I don't know why. I was just like, man, what if I fuck up? And I was like, self, how? Hello, hello. Come on in. We're chit-chatting about the Game Awards. I'm gonna turn down that goddamn super loud audio for the background there. Hello, hello. Yes, it's a newer model. You will have seen it once before. This is fun. It reveals who does or does not watch the VODs, which is so okay. VODs are a hard pitch. They're a hard pitch, aren't they? Because, they're not as much fun. But yeah, look, I've got tracking. You can watch me open my monster as my face wigged out. But yes, welcome, hello. I look excellent. I made this outfit. I made the model. Well, in Vroid Studio, but I did all the texturing myself. And I'm very proud. And I've figured out a thing that tracks me good, so yippee. Wahoo. So the Game Awards, huh? Okay. I think we got to, can she do a flip? She cannot. She cannot do a flip. You're lucky if I remember how to smile. I believe it is... That's too big. Well, that's not a smile either. That's definitely not a smile. There we go. I remembered how to smile. Alright, so Expedition 33 completely ran away with it. Spoilers. For the Game Awards. Hello, welcome. Yeah, the Game Awards. Expedition 33 won, like, goddamn every single thing it was nominated for. And some of them I fully disagree with. I don't think it should have won Best Art Direction. I think Hades 2 could have gotten that. Whatever. I've not even seen, like, I've seen screenshots from Expedition 33. Like, I haven't seen real gameplay. I haven't heard any of the characters. I don't know shit diddly. So I can't be, like, mad that it won. And I'm not. Because my games of the year weren't even nominated in the first place. So what's the fucking point? I am genuinely surprised. I thought for sure that, I thought Silksong was gonna be the one. I was like, the reason why Legend ZA isn't going to be Game of the Year is because of Silksong. Silksong's gonna do it. And I was wrong, apparently. I didn't know that here's the thing about Expedition 33. People treat it like it's the first RPG that's ever existed. People talk about Expedition 33 like it's breaking really new ground, and hey, maybe it's a really great RPG. But, like, I'm like, it can't be the most unique thing in a world with lots of RPGs. So, and I think the thing is, I had this thought this morning as I was looking at Twitter, looking at the aftermath of the Game Awards, because I didn't watch it live, because I'm not a virgin. No. Going way too hard. But yeah, I didn't watch it live because I was too busy playing Stardew Valley. Hi, welcome. What do you think? Mapafu, what was your game of the year? And how do you feel about Expedition 33 completely sweeping? I know, I can't virgin shame. I am one. I'm queen of the virgins. So, I saw people saying this, and I can't really disagree, is that it's the JRPG for Westerners. So, and a JRPG is just a Japanese RPG. That's the thing. It's, people who are scared of anime just are like, this is mind-blowing, and I'm like, it's an RPG, you know, it's, even if it's good, it's not new. Kind of surprised Ghost of Yotai was up there. A new expedition was gonna sweep, and I'm happy that Silksong won something. Did it win something? What did it win? I don't remember seeing it when I looked through the categories earlier. Twiins didn't watch it live because she's not trapped in a loveless marriage. Pyra, that is such a Frankie on Taskmaster joke. If you know, you know. I forgot the category, but it won. I'll choose to believe you. Best action adventure. That is what it won. There you go. Good job. Good job. Bought Escape from Duckov. Is it Duckov at first sight? That's pretty much it for me. Lamau. Or is it Tarkov? Is that what it? Either way. I think my problem with the Game Awards, and I think it's what a lot of people's problem with the Game Awards is that it's really, really fun if your game wins. No, it's Escape from Tarkov, but ducks. That's pretty hilarious. But that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, it's always like, I feel like this happens every year. Every single year, it's a sweep. It's not just a game wins a category, another game wins another category. Like, it's full sweeps these days. And I think that's really, really fun if you like that game. For all the Expedition 33 fans out there, they're having a grand, cool time. And, people like Expedition, and this is how I saw it described a couple of different times. That people were rooting for the underdog, and then the underdog kept winning. And then they stopped rooting for them. And because Expedition 33 is by an indie team of who are excited about making games that they like and that are good, and they really like RPGs, and they got to make their big cool RPG, and that's really cool and great and fun. And so that's good. I'm glad they won. I'm not even mad that they won Game of the Year. I'm not even really mad that they won so many categories, but I think that is the issue. Is that it ends up becoming complete landslides. And I feel like this happens every single year. That whatever wins Game of the Year also wins Best Music and Best Platformer or whatever genre it happens to be. I'm thinking of fucking PlayStation Boy or whatever the fuck its name was. Astro Boy, that's it. Like, I feel like the same exact thing happened with that too, you know? And I think it's just an issue with the system. But how do you, like, gatekeep how many categories something can be in? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe something can only be offered up for up to like a maximum of so odd categories. But if something is that good, then it deserves to win all of its accolades, but it's really, really, really boring. The Game Awards should have more awards and not just briefly mentioning who won at the beginning of the show. Yeah, that's why I actually don't watch it, because I don't want to watch Jeff Keighley, dance around with the Muppets or whatever. Like, that's swell, but that happened, I guess. But, I think some trailers during the show is a good idea, but, yeah, I'm not here for filler. I'm here for video game news. Genuinely sucks this time, because this year was a really great year for games. It really was. The fact that Nintendo didn't steamroll everyone else is surprising. Hello, welcome. And, okay, I'm gonna spoil a bit of an idea, but I genuinely cannot believe that Deltarune wasn't anywhere for the Game Awards. Like, I can't believe that. I genuinely have no idea how that happened. That Deltarune didn't make it anywhere on the Game Awards? And I thought, I'm like, oh, well, is it just because it's only chapters 3 and 4 that got released this year? Like, they're not considering it a finished game. But it's like, oh, but, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, like, that got to be, a nominee. And so, like, last year or whenever it came out. And so it's like, why the hell isn't Deltarune here? And I think it's just a really narrow view of games that do get nominated. It's, to put it bluntly, it's normie stuff. And so it's just, I don't know, niche games, like, I was yelling over and over when we looked at it the first time, when we were looking at the nominees. I'm like, where is No, I'm Not a Human, Stuff like that is just... Completely forgot about Deltarune. I mean, it came out really, really early. Well, actually, it didn't even. It came out halfway through the year. I remember it quite vividly. Because the Deltarune came out, and I took time off, and it was the same week that the Switch 2 released. And I took time off from work to play video games, and that same week, like the second day of my little vacation, my eye got blurry. So I remember it all quite clearly. If a DLC could be nominated for Game of the Year last year, so can Deltarune. Exactly. Though I will say, I don't think Elden Ring deserved to be, or like specifically the DLC, the Shadow of Erdtree DLC, it shouldn't have been nominated. But you're right, Deltarune should be. If a DLC can be, Deltarune can be. And hi Messiah, welcome. And I just don't get it. Award shows are all about playing it safe and not acknowledging the daring and experimental works for whatever reasons. I know, right? It's why I'm gonna be doing my own award show again this year, so I can talk about all the cool things I like. Where'd chat go? Or maybe you guys just got quiet. I don't know. I was over here on the cake. I'm like, where'd you guys go? There you are. A big part of the nominations is it's a list that gets sent out to the major publications / big names in the game sphere, and then they vote on them. Okay. So yeah, it really is, it's normie central. So, you know, if your favorite musician isn't Taylor Swift, you know, you're hard-pressed, like Taylor Swift and Rihanna, you're hard-pressed to find your favorite musician showing up at the Grammys. I guess it's the truth for video games. There's always a mainstream, now isn't there? They really should have a DLC award for the Game Awards. Yeah, it's weird that they don't. Maybe not enough DLCs come out every year, but maybe it's because they're scared, because genuinely, and I mean, I know I talk a lot of shit. I know I'm #1 Pokemon fan in the room, but genuinely, I think Pokemon DLCs is where they're at their best, and I think people are scared that they would lose to a Pokemon DLC. Because, here's the thing, I don't ever really expect Pokemon to win Game of the Year. But a DLC, it could easily win DLC of the Year. Downloadable content. So, for example, Pokemon DLC are things like the Teal Mask adventure. Shadow of Erdtree is also DLC. So DLC ranges from either like optional like extra weapons and armor and accessories in like an RPG, up to like a full new adventure that you can have for like post-game. So there's a lot of range in DLC, which might be why they don't have a DLC category. Wow! I want a new 3D outfit ASAP. Okay. Do you have a suggestion on what you would like? And be aware, it'll take, as soon as possible still means it'll take me a little bit of time to make it. But if you have a suggestion of what kind of flavor of outfit you'd like, thanks a million for giving me 69,000 feathers. Balatro getting in last year was basically a miracle because it's a tiny indie game that just got crazy popular. Like, kind of like Stardew Valley, in a way. And sometimes that happens, that they're living the dream. I'm glad that they were even nominated, even if, I think they won something. It wasn't Game of the Year, that's for sure, but, yeah. Oh no, I've made it too cheap. That's now 2 outfits I've gotta make, so be aware. They will take some time for me to make. Finally something to spend my mass amount of feathers on. And, oh no. Well, I lowered it, because last time somebody mentioned that they needed like 1 million more, and I was like, oh, maybe I should make that cheaper, but maybe I should make it more expensive again. But yeah, what kind of outfits do you want? I've got nothing, I just want more fun outfits. Okay, I'm gonna put dealer's choice, and what about you, stereotype gamer? Dealer's choice. Feather point inflation. Outfit contest winner get the model, perhaps? I don't understand what that means. I don't understand. Oh! Like from a million years ago, I had the like a dress up darling kind of deal. That'd be a cool idea. I'd have to make sure I like give him a shout out kind of a thing. Quick, put at 400k. I'll probably add a 1 to the front of it. Yeah, I had 100k. I mentioned I only needed 590,000 more. I want to see something red to contrast Doug. Alright. Dealer's choice, something red. I can do that. I like that it's nice and loose. That allows me to be creative and fun with it. Thanks a million, fam. Here's hoping this means I get good at making outfits. And it won't take as long as it took me to make this because I've already got like my skin. So it's really just the outfit part I gotta really worry about. So yippee. So yeah. Wow. The Game Awards are kind of always disappointing, and I really do think it's just a lack of variety. I think that's the big thing is, oh, look, you can see my hand cut off at the edge of the table if I wander it over here. Oh, well, you'll never see it again, you fuckos. Yeah, I don't know, I just wish it wasn't landslides. Some other notable victories, because it wasn't just Expedition 33. The fuck? Me trying to show you something, but my camera doesn't like it. Down there. Yeah, you see? You see how my hand gets cut off? Wow, that's the end of my window. Like yeah. Yeah, other victories. Hades did win something. I can't remember what. So at least it got something. And so did Silksong, like we mentioned. I'm disappointed that Silent Hill F didn't win anything. It should have. People are scared. I think people are still, they're too stupid, they're too dumb, they're not playing the game right. What are you gonna do? What a surprise. They put an Artor in charge of a game, and it becomes weirdly niche. It's also why, like, Drakengard and Nier don't win things. Yeah, not a single thing. And not even, like, best sound design. That went to, like, goddamn Call of Duty or whatever. And I'm like, okay. What the fuck else? Oh, DK, Donkey Kong, he won. What was it fucking? It was Family Game. Oh my Jesus Christ, don't call me. Go away. Donkey Kong won, yeah, Family Game of the Year. And Mario Kart did win Racing Game. So, yippee. I'm glad. I know the Sonic fans are upset, and I'm sorry, but Mario Kart was just really, really pretty and fun. What can I say? Listen, you know a game is good when I crank out a video with, like, high-level effort of editing just to talk about the outfits in it. I never offered my opinion on the matter, nor will I. Those were kind of the big ones. I know Baldur's Gate's won, like, Community of the Year again. This was Sonic's year. Sonic will make a good game. That's not a racing game. And maybe they'll win that one. I'm sorry, Messiah. Really, it would have been Sonic's year if Mario Kart didn't come out. That's not just because, oh, well, Mario won, so duh. Like, that Mario Kart was gonna blast through everything. It was an uphill battle for everyone else. That's not true. Listen, people have been wanting a new Mario Kart. This would be like if Smash Bros. Released. And then you expect anything else to win Best Fighting Game. You know? Like, it's just... Remember, The Game Awards are for normies, and normies like Mario and Smash Bros. And furries and kids and weebs like Sonic. And I think I'm realizing that normies are actually the minority, but they held all the power, so that's the annoying important part. Sonic will never make a good game. No, but he can get close. He can make a game we love. Then listen, I'm a Pokemon fan. I know your pain of knowing your franchise is never gonna win. So, don't worry, I'm right there with you. We can cry and hold hands as we look at our beloved stupid children lose another award show. Uma Musume did win for mobile game. I'm not surprised, but I'm happy. I think Uma Musume was really, really fun, even though I haven't played it in months. I'd be delighted to pick it up again. If ever I'm not ludicrously busy. Maybe I should download it for PC, but then it would, run like ass. My friends and I were giggling at the pronunciation. Oh, did they fuck it up? I'm not too surprised. Especially because they had Miss Piggy there. Uma Musume. Listen, Japanese is hard. And the fact people come after me in my Project Sekai videos about how often I fuck up pronunciation, and it's like, listen, I am the least of your worries. I love spam umamusubas. Umama sumi. This is why we do the Game Awards. So we can get Umama Sumi. Oh man. But also in the Game Awards, they should fear me in my pronunciations. They also announced a shitload of games, and I wrote those down. First up, I think this was like the first game they announced, was Divinity, which is made by the same people who did Baldur's Gate 3. And that trailer was upsetting. I did look it up. And I don't recommend you look it up. It was graphic. It was age restricted on YouTube, by the way. Like it said, there's mature content and might not be suitable for all ages, and they just had that live streamed in the Game Awards. Because I knew about it because I've got a subreddit I like to frequent for Baldur's Gate, but everyone's really horny, basically. Horny, and also they've got funny memes. So I was like, oh, cool trailer, and so let's check it out. And it was, so I expected it to be like, you know, sexy times. No, it was really upsetting and gory, and that's saying something. Keep in mind, I am a sadist, and I was like, this is too much. So I am not opposed to the idea of playing Divinity, but I gotta say, nothing in the trailer really enticed me. Maybe a second trailer would change my mind, but as it is, me sitting there like in front of the children, it was all so much, and they just had that. I saw a tweet, it was so funny. I saw a tweet that was, I can't believe that Divinity trailer, like, they did people dirty. People had that playing on the family TV. So, goddamn. But the idea of a Divinity game is exciting. At least that means we'll get more music, so that's fun. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic has been announced. And I don't play the Star Wars games. I don't watch the Star Wars anything. Personally, as someone who... I'm familiar with Star Wars, so it's not like I hate Star Wars, but as somebody on the outside, I'm kind of burnt out on constant Star Wars things. What do you guys think? Are you like, this is too much Star Wars, or are you all like, no, we're happy that we've got our Star Wars. I need Star Wars. We'll see, the Space Cowboy's happy. So how mad can we be? Was that the one where the lady was humping the guy while the other guy was being sacrificed alive? Yes. Yes, Messiah. That is the Divinity trailer. So... It's overstuffed. I don't care about Star Wars, never did. Never seen Star Wars, so I don't have an opinion. Seems like I've got a pretty anti-Star Wars team in my chat. Yeah, I'm not... Like, people really liked the Star Wars Old Republic game, like the previous one. I think. Here's the problem. They all kind of seem the same. But I know some are better than others. And so I don't know. I don't know if this was one of the ones people like or not. Haven't seen much Star Wars. What I've seen of the movies. I haven't seen all of them. I'm excited for pod racing, but the other one looks good too. Well, I hope the Star Wars fans enjoys, and I guess that's all I can really hope for now, isn't it? I do remember one of my old Girl Scout friends' dad was obsessed with Star Wars. He had so many collectibles. Fellas especially. I think it's, a generally even split, obviously, but I do think fellas tend to like Star Wars better, and ladies tend to like Star Trek better. And again, that's like, it's like a 60-40 on those, like, more, like, kind of statistics. It's barely. But that does seem to be generally the vibe that I have encountered as my time in this world. Do you like how my fingers go crazy when they interact with me? Ew. But yeah, Star Wars. Have fun with your Star Wars. I didn't look up that trailer. I didn't look up most of the trailers, I'll be honest. Titanfall and Apex devs are trying to make another shooter popular. That's the note I wrote down. I didn't even look this one up at all. Yeah, there's like a new shooter, like an FPS that they're doing, that they wanna make shooters great again, I suppose. And it's like, Apex especially is weird, because I'm like, doesn't everyone play Apex already? Why do you need a second game? I don't care about Star Trek either. I haven't seen much of that either. Personally, I do like Star Trek more, but Star Trek is a lot headier. Star Wars is laser fight. Oh man, so much action. They're running around and racing in space cars, and that's fun. Star Trek can, especially the Next Generation. The original Star Trek is, old TV schlock, so that is what it will always be. But the Next Generation with Picard and Data, it handles a lot more, like, thought kind of projects. It's a lot of talking and deliberating and approaching, kind of introspective, interesting questions. So... depending on what you like, if you like sword fights and space battles, you'll like Star Wars. And if you like exploring interesting different cultures, even in a fantasy setting, and sometimes even our own cultures, then you'd like Star Trek more. I grew up on Star Wars. It's an up and down series, but it's near and dear to my heart. With something that grand, there's so much in the Star Wars pantheon. It can't be all bangers, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna be, like, there will still be bangers, Now, normally I'd prey on its downfall because I enjoy seeing the hatred of fans. even from a series I like, but given the setting of this specific game, I need it to be peak. Well, I hope, for you specifically, Space Cowboy, that it is. Do you like science fiction Or do you like science fiction? Yeah, exactly. I remember this one shooter game me and my brother played, involving a stick man shooting each other. Ooh, shooting other stick people? I don't know this one. So I cannot comment on it in good faith. But yeah, Apex and Titanfall, making a game that's probably gonna shut down in like a year or two. I don't know. There's a new Tomb Raider. That's great for the 4 Tomb Raider fans. I feel like Tomb Raider has really fumbled the ball. They were one of the first to like kind of make it onto the scene with the new like big kind of fancy new graphics available with next gen technology, like at around the PlayStation 3 and 4-ish. But like the game wasn't good. They had a new game, but it wasn't particularly well received. And so now we got a new Tomb Raider, and I just hope this one's actually a good game. But unfortunately, I think I don't know. I feel like it's very possible that it'll be like the previous game, where it's kind of a cutscene simulator, you know. A little Nathan Drakey, where it's like, this could have been a movie. Where the only reason you get some decent time into your gameplay investment is because, you put the difficulty on hard. And so you keep dying. So, I don't know. Happy for the Tomb Raider fans. Mega Man! What? Mega Man. So, that's fun. A real new Mega Man game. I gotta be honest. So I like Mega Man, and I'm really happy for Allison, who also really likes Mega Man. But I gotta be honest, I watched that trailer, actually, and I was pretty unimpressed by what I saw. It was, like, just Mega Man. And I'm kind of sitting here wondering, where's the innovation gonna be? Because, like, Mega Man's a pretty small scale game, classically. It doesn't scale large by being, like, kind of accurate to the old games, like how this new one seems to be. Hang on, let me just sip. And so, how do you make Mega Man more? How do you make it bigger? Or is it just another Mega Man, where you run to the right and you shoot guys with lemons? I don't know. If that is all it is, if it really is just like, it's like a classic Mega Man, but pretty graphics and on a new system, then I would expect it to not be any more than $30. The Mega Man is not a $60 game, let alone an $80 game. And I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would make Mega Man and sell it for cheap. Yeah, that's wishful thinking. Yeah, and so, if they're going to sell a game for full price, full normal game price of $60 to $80, I need to see where that investment's coming from. So I need to see more. I need another Mega Man trailer. And I bet they'll do that. You know, I doubt they would just be like, there's Mega Man, buy him in a year. Because I think it's coming out in 2027 anyway. Most of these trailers seem to be coming out in 2027. Yeah, I got the hiccups. Hang on, let me get some water. Ow! And so, in the next Mega Man trailer, I want to see more. Not just Mega Man does exist and they've returned to classic Mega Man gameplay. I'm surprised they haven't tried to jump back into the third dimension with Mega Man. Because, like, should have? Like, there's the Mega Man game on the N64, and I think people like that, but, like, why not try again? I don't know. Like, this classic Mega Man style is good and fun, but I just don't understand why not try like a proper 3D platformer action adventure. It's Zelda, but you're playing as Mega Man instead. You know? It just feels like, I'm just surprised they haven't tried to do that. But yay, whoop, Mega Man. returning to us, Resident Evil 9 plus Leon. So, I don't really know what's going on with the story of Resident Evil right now. But Critter and Allison do, so I can be like, so what's going on? And also Leon's gonna be there, and you can play as Leon if you want. He's got a chainsaw. So, yippee, I like Leon. Excited for the Resident Evil fans. They've been eating so good ever since... Seven. How to count. Oh, it's Star Fox Adventures. Star Fox could have been great. Star Fox Adventures could have been great. I think they fumbled the execution. Also, too many dinosaurs. Volnut Mega Man wasn't great, but I do agree they should try again. See, I think there's promise in the like idea. Even just like a simple platformer could work. So I don't know. I like Mega Man plenty. I just want it to be a good game, you know. The Mega Man fans have been starving for so long. But yeah, Resident Evil as well. I do wonder. Resident Evil's been doing well lately, and a part of me wonders if they're going to drop the ball at some point. Especially with bringing Leon back. Like, I worry people are gonna be kind of tired of Leon, or upset that he's, like, stealing the limelight or something. I don't know. I like Leon, but I don't know the story right now. Too many dinosaurs, blasphemous. That game did have too many. For a game that is ostensibly furries, there were too many dinosaurs that were not furries. Like, furries running around with just normal dinosaurs on 4 legs. That was the problem. That was the problem. Should have made them all furries. Would have fixed the furry game. Sonic should also hang out with Star Fox because they're all furries. More games announced. I don't know how they announced so many games. I didn't even write down all of them. I feel like there weren't even this many categories between. The Game Awards sound like they were so boring. Anyway, for this next one, I just wrote down, people still play Diablo 4. I guess there's an update to Diablo. So, for the 2 people who are still playing Diablo 4, congratulations. I hope you're enjoying that. Give me 1 second. Let me blow my nose. I'm gonna mute my mic so it's not disgusting for you to hear. Alright, I've done it. Imagine if I failed to unmute my mic and then I just spoke to myself for another hour and a half. Hang on. One more. There we go. That's one of the things I hate about being at work, is I feel like I can't blow my nose in peace. I don't like blowing my nose around other people. Never played Diablo? Yeah, I mean... no one has. If memory serves correctly, that was the same team that was, don't you all have smartphones? Because the most recent game is on mobile. What is Diablo? It's a MOBA, I believe. Top-down, yeah, what the fuck is Diablo? It's an old people game, that's the problem. You've all seen clips from, like, the original Fallout, yeah? So, it's like that, but, instead of being on, like, in, like, a sci-fi situation, you're running through hell and killing Satan. That's what Diablo means. Diablo is devil. Oh shit, a new Diablo is out? Say less. Well, see, no. There isn't a new Diablo. They've just updated their current Diablo. You can now play as, like, a new paladin class, so... great for the 3 people playing Diablo. Phantom Blade Zero wants to pretend it's as good as Elden Ring is the next thing I wrote down, which is a biting commentary for a game I haven't seen. Phantom Blade Zero is setting itself up as a new Souls-like, kind of following in the steps of Elden Ring or Black Myth Wukong. So, I don't know. I hope it's good. Listen, if Code Vein can be decent, you can be decent. Yeah, I didn't look at anything from it, so I can't actually judge it too harshly. Listen, I actually played Code Vein, and I'm gonna call that the worst Souls-like game I've interacted with. And it's not a wide pool, but I think it does say something. And I kind of liked Code Vein. But it is still, I mean, it pales in comparison to Elden Ring, but that's like, what? No, you don't say. A slice of white bread isn't as good as a full burger? What? Oh my god. You're blowing my mind. A couple more games that got announced. Oh, so there's a D&D game. Like, it is connected to Dungeons and Dragons. It's got Dungeons and Dragons, like, under the logo. And it's called Warlock. And so I was like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? And so I watched that trailer. And so do you all know in the Shadow the Hedgehog game, the one that was, like, on the PlayStation 2 in the game Cube, me remembering what shape the system was, the game sphere. Yeah, so you remember the Shadow the Hedgehog game, how it starts, and it's that edgy, very cool cinematic of Shadow running around killing guys and being edgy while this like heavy like nu metal song is playing, and it kind of rules. But it's also so hard to take seriously. The Warlock trailer was basically that, and there was no gameplay, so I don't know what the fuck. From what I've gathered by watching this trailer, oh, did you hear the frog fog trying to come back up in my throat? So I watched the trailer, and the thing I've been able to ascertain, you play as a lady. I don't think you're gonna make your own character, which is completely missing the point of a D&D game. But whatever. And she must be a warlock. It's in the title, and that's it. I know from the IGN, like, article that I got all the information on the announced games from, that it's a D&D game, but it's not turn-based like Baldur's Gate. And so I'm like, so you're trying to get into the Witcher crowd, aren't you? That's what this is. This is, we have the Witcher at home. I guarantee it. I bet all the money in the world that this game is gonna be mid, and it's gonna be, we have the Witcher at home. Frog is back and it brought the fog, exactly. So, that looked so mid. I couldn't even say it looked bad. It just looked mid. And thank God for them that they were so far after the Larian trailer. That would have been... I feel bad for anything that had to follow the Divinity trailer, because even though it was upsetting and not for me, that's the one thing I've seen multiple people continue to talk about. Other people, like, it's been like, yay, Mega Man game, and then that was it. But I keep seeing people talking about the Divinity trailer, so, like it or not, they left an impact. And so I do feel bad for everything that had to immediately follow Divinity. Oh, I wrote this one down. Warhammer is a game? I guess there's a Warhammer game? Could have fooled me. I didn't know. I thought it was just like a tabletop thing. So there's a Warhammer game, I guess. There's 3. What do you do in these? What do you do in these Warhammers? Because aren't the whole thing, aren't they all about their, like, little mechs? Because they got their little mechs. They're cute little mech guys that everyone makes their little gunplas of. What do you do in Warhammer? Because, yeah, I thought it was just, like, the board game Risk, but, like, more. Just, I thought, genuinely, that Warhammer was just, like, a board game with a lot of expansions. Hammer the Wars 40k times. Keep up, you know? You're so right. I am a fool. It was in the name. I think there's a war and you use a hammer. IDK. Well, excited for the Warhammer people out there. I suppose. I do worry. I feel like the Warhammer community ends up being... How do I say this politely? I feel like there's a lot of Nazis in that community, and it's not because of Warhammer, but Warhammer makes it easy for them to be like, ooh, we're gonna we're excited about our little Nazis, because I think they use real war imagery, and the bad guys have, like, Nazi imagery. I don't know. So... whatever, I guess. I know not all of them are. So for the normal Warhammer people, which is, I can only hope, all of them, or most of them, I hope they have a swell time, hammering wars 40k times. So, yay! And then the last thing I wrote down was, Ontos. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, because I didn't watch a trailer or anything. Ontos, it's made by the same people who did Soma. Who, you all might remember Soma. It was a, pretty heady horror game from, like, 4 million billion years ago. So, hopefully this is another really good, heady horror game. So, hope that's swell. I never engaged too much with Soma. It was just kind of not really my bag. Not really my aesthetic. Not really my scene. But Allison really liked it. So I should actually mention that to her, because I know she knows nothing about what's going on with the Game Awards. It is weird that it was on a Thursday. Why do they do that? Who would have your award show on a Thursday? Whatever, I guess. Not like me, who I'm gonna have an award show, and it's not gonna be on a Thursday, it's gonna be on a Monday. I'm gonna make a proper announcement for this on... Real gamers have Fridays off so they can do multi-day raids, clearly. Maybe, I guess, it's a thing about normal people working like a 9 to 5. You go home, you watch your Game Awards, and then the next day, right before the weekend, you get to talk to your work buddies about, did you see the Game Awards? Yeah, I was really hoping that Silksong would win. You know, you could have a chit-chat with your pals at the end of the week. Finally, Mondays are worth living through. Yeah, I'm gonna post, like, a proper announcement for this on... I'll make a post on YouTube, and also, like, on Twitter and Blue Sky. But you all get the early intel, because that's what happens when you're at a Twiins stream. Entertainment? No. Funny content? No. A good time? No. Early news? Sometimes. Work buddy. Game Awards? The fuck are you talking about? I know, right? Like, I bet if I brought it up to... I've got buddies at work who play video games. And I bet if I was like, hey, buddy, did you see the Game Awards? He'd be like, nah. So, that's what happens when you're a fucking loser. But, all these fucking losers, you guys and me, we're all gonna celebrate on the 22nd. On the 22nd of December, I'm going to do my own awards. That's right, the Twiins Inc. Variety Awards Show is returning. Yes, the 22nd. That is the same week as Christmas. So it's not this next Monday, but the Monday after that. I'm gonna talk about all the things I like a whole lot. I'm gonna talk about you guys are gonna talk about me, and we're gonna have a grand cool time. So yeah, yippee, the Twinsies. What a cute name. So we get nothing besides sometimes info. Exactly. So yeah, I hope you all look forward to that. I've already started working on it, but of course, I probably won't finish working on it until that weekend. I've got a lot of work to do. I'm a busy goyle, which is also why I'm doing a bit of a shorter stream today, because genuinely, I forgot I stream on Fridays. I was, last night and this morning, lying in bed, thinking about, like, there I am, lying in bed, like, oh boy, tomorrow I'm going to, I'm gonna edit and do all this art, I'm gonna get so much done, and then I was eating breakfast, and I was like, I stream! So, yeah, a bit of a shorter stream just because I got all geared up to get all this work done. I can't spend my day playing video games with you guys, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But I still wanted to stream and got to chit-chat about the dang old Game Awards, since that conveniently happened yesterday. Busy goyle, yep, that's what I am. A busy goyle. So hooray! Thanks a million for making it so that I've got to make the new 3D outfit more expensive again. I'm just glad that was so expensive during the time where I didn't have a good way of making a new outfit. So now, I get to. So yippee! That'll be a fun little bonus thing I can work on. Here's hoping I get any free time this month. I was only able to ask for like 2 days off from work. Here's the thing. If I just made enough money as a YouTuber or a streamer, then I wouldn't have to go to work and waste all that time at work doing work things. I could just be home working on all my projects all the time. Dear Santa, please bring Twiins extra hours to play video games. On the topic of video games, I'll mention, because I was struggle bussing with Majora's Mask. I think for Majora's Mask, our adventures with that, I'm going to... I think I want to stream with Allison, like on standby, to be my tattle for me, as it were, and tell me where, like, the backseat for me when I need it, like, where the fuck am I going, and she can tell me, and it's like, okay, I know where I'm going, because I did look it up. I looked up where, like, how to progress after my previous Majora's Mask stream, and it's like, listen, I think I gotta cut out a bit of a middleman there. So, don't you get Christmas off? Yes, but I'm spending Christmas, like, having fun. Spending Christmas having fun with my family, playing video games. I'm taking Christmas off, which includes from stream. So, yeah, gasp, cheaterer. I am a cheaterer. I'm a cheaterer, I was gonna say like a rhyme, and then the rhyme was gonna be bow beaterer, and then I was like, you know, I don't think I want to say that. And see, here's the thing, Allison doesn't have an encyclopedic knowledge of the N64 Zeldas. I know Ocarina better than her. But she has played Majora's Mask before, and she knows how to Google things. So, that's why she'll be my handy-dandy little... She'll be my fairy companion. I think the reason I had so much trouble last time is because I forgot that the reason I started playing Majora's Mask in the first place was because I was like, a perfect excuse to use my fairy, like, model. Hell yeah! And then I forgot, and so that was why I struggled so much, because I wasn't a fairy. So yeah, that's the plan, Stan. But yeah, I know. An awfully short stream. It feels like we've been chit-chatting for hours and hours, but it's only been about an hour. Stan, leave me out of this. Listen, Stan, I know you're there in chat, and I appreciate you, even if you're just a lurker. So you can shut the fuck up as I tell you my goddamn plans. Sometimes I want to pull out like a real person name. Like, yeah, I'm talking to you, Dilbert, but I feel like I don't know any actual names people have. Like, what's the most common name these days? I don't know. Probably, Kaylee. I feel like there's a lot of, like, Kellys and Kayleys. Aiden? Oh, Aiden is a common name. You're so right. Communication is important, so shut the fuck up. And let me tell you my goddamn plans. Exactly. Aiden, you're so right. Aiden really is. That's up there. Damn, I felt that. Kelly, I only know that there's a lot of Kellys, but for, like, older people, like millennials, and so, millennials, Gen X, there's a lot of Kellys in that category, and I only know that because of Survivor. Because there's been, like, goddamn 11 Kellys on Survivor. I also don't think I've met an Aiden, but I've definitely, like, seen, like, heard Aidens, you know? Like, you're scrolling on, like, you know, TikTok or something, and, oh, my buddy Aiden, or whatever the fuck. I've heard Aiden enough times to know that, yes, that is a common name. Sarah, I went to school with so many Sarahs. I think the most common name for me growing up was either Hunter, which was both a boy and a girl name, or Heather. There were like 3 Heathers. And no, I did not grow up in the hit musical Heathers. But there were so many of them, which was fascinating. I always thought Heather was a pretty name. What a shame that all the Heathers, I feel like I remember, they were all kind of assholes. But I can only really remember 2 of them, so my bones become twice as brittle. Older people equals millennials. Listen, we millennials are older people now. It's just the truth of the matter. There's not only Gen Z, there is also Gen Alpha. We're 2 generations out. We're old. Taylor is common. Taylor, and that's another gender neutral one too. Taylor is a real common name. Alex is pretty common. Well, is it still common? I feel like Alex is a common nickname, but no one is just named Alex. It's like Alexander, which is like shortened to Alex, you know? Especially in the late 80s, a lot of kids were named Alex. That's fascinating. That is fascinating. Have you ever looked up the, like, most common names for every year? It's pretty fun. This is just a fun, a cool thing to look up, especially if you're, like, making something, like a story, like a fan fiction, or a comic, or whatever have you. And it's like, okay, but it's set in, like, 1993. So I gotta know, what were people called back then, you know? So, it could be fun, looking up popular names. The name Heather sounds evil, what do you mean? I think it sounds pretty. But maybe it's because the Heathers were also all pretty. Man, it really does sound like I grew up. I grew up in the Heathers. But yeah, I think they were all just kind of good at makeup, and Heather was a pretty enough sounding name. I think Heather is a pretty color as well. So maybe that's why it all worked out that way. But ah well. I don't think I'm never one to pick Heather as a name for something though. Like I don't have characters on standby, but I name my characters shit like fucking Ram. Ram and Ruth, you know. Heather used to work at my job. She was awesome. See, some of them are swell. You can't judge a person based on their name. Soon we will be the Golden Girls, reminiscing about back in my day. I'm already that. I've been reminiscing about back in my day since I was like 17. Emily is pretty common. Oh, that's true. I know an Emily right now. There's an Emily at work. Is there? No, that's not her name. I had to think about it. Oh, I used to know an Emily. That's what it is. Her name also starts with like an E. That's why I mixed that up. I don't talk to her. I don't talk to not Emily. She's like on the other side of the building as me. And then she goes down the stairs and I have to go up the stairs. So we're just never together. Being evil does not preclude one from being pretty. It is the truth. They often coincide, but they're not correlated. When I think of Heather, I either think of the flower or the total drama character. Ooh, that's where I reveal that I'm a loser, and I never watched Total Drama. I think it looks... I don't like how it looks. But also, I was just not really... I don't think I had access to TV at that time. There was a chunk in time where we didn't have TV growing up. So, I missed out on a lot of cartoons, and Total Drama was one of them. Back in my day, consoles only had 64 bits. Think about that. In our lifetime, think about growing up. I grew up. And the most recent, I remember getting a new video game console for Christmas one year from our grandpa. It was an Xbox. An original Xbox. Now, think about the graphics of an original Xbox. And think about the graphics that we have today. And, like, that's not a lot of time. You know? Like, that's in such a short amount of time. We've grown to be able to do so much. Like, goddamn. And so now, it feels like we're plateauing. Like, it was a lot of exponential growth, and now we're at a point where, like, you can't really get too much better with graphics. And so I'm interested to see how video games progress from here, because it can't just be, oh, it's pretty forever. We're gonna have to start innovating with, like, gameplay. Heaven forbid. Perish the thought. So yeah, 24 years isn't really a short amount of time. It is, though. It's not very long. 24? A 24-year-old? That's a youngling. If you're 24 years old, your brain isn't even fully developed. So, like, it's been so fast, and I think that's the big thing. All of technology has developed really exponentially since the 90s. Thinking about those old school computers, the thick ass, they're huge, they're gigantic, they could run, at best, Frogger. You know? And even that, and like, and they would, we've grown so much, like, fucking, it's just, like, our grandparents didn't have anything close to anything like this. Their big leaps in technology were, they, like, created a vehicle, which was big, but, like, just, like, the computers and the internet and graphics have all, like, in the grand scheme of technology, have been so exponential in their growth. And so it really is fascinating. It's an interesting age we live in, I think, because now that we've done all that exponential growth, and we've sort of hit that ceiling, I'm just... Because it's like, it's hard to see how you grow from here. It was easy to see. How do we make this video game better? Oh, well, currently it's 12 pixels. So what if we, make it look good, actually? And so that's the thing that has me so interested right now. Is just that we can get to expect to see this growth in maybe different areas. It's been a lot of visual growth, and don't get me wrong, gameplay has changed a lot too, but not a ton. And I think it could be interesting to see how, and I don't think VR is the answer, I gotta be honest, but I am interested to see how video games and technology in general continues to grow in the future. And AI is also not the answer. That's not growth. It's just stealing art. But you all know that. You're smart little cookies. So yeah, I guess that's Twiins' random, unexpected rant about technology. To wrap up a short little yapping stream about the Game Awards. So, yippee! Yeah, AI can go throw itself in traffic. What do we say in this house? Fuck AI. Good job, chat. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I gotta wrap up so I can go back to editing. I think that I can get one more nice, big, cool project done before the end of the year. So I'm working on that. It'll be a fun video for everybody. I hope you enjoy it. And also I will mention, because I mentioned that the Twiins Variety Hour stream is going to be on the 22nd. Keep in mind that that will probably be the final stream of the year. I will take a break for Christmas and then New Year's. There's a decent chance I return on the 2nd, like January 2nd, but we shall see. So yeah, get excited to not have to deal with me for 2 whole dang weeks. But yeah, I'm excited to get this project done for you guys, because I've been working on it for a year. I started working on this last December. And it's finally almost done, yippee! So yay, gotta get back to working on that. And also thinking about outfits, since you guys have cashed in so many outfits, and also I gotta make that more expensive, so I'm not inundated in outfits. But I do really appreciate it, because I like the challenge. I like the idea of having multiple outfits that I get to pick from anyway, especially since I've got a system that works. And I can set this up so we can, like, play games in the 3rd dimension too, without worrying too much about my hands. You know, I don't always need my hands available. So yippee, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna wrap up stream. Since it was such a short stream, let me look to see if anybody is streaming that I could. Oh, Mapafu is streaming, and so is Rather Dashing. Who do we like better? What are they doing? We've got Escape from Duckov and Elder Scrolls. Okay, so do you guys want to hang out with Mapafu playing Escape from Duckov, or do you want to hang out with a nice fellow called Rather Dashing playing Elder Scrolls Online? Which one do you think? We know Mapafu better. So what if we raid into her? That sounds fun. We're gonna do a raid. Do you like how I asked you guys and then I completely disregarded you? Also, at some point, don't be afraid to check out Messiah's streams. Like I've mentioned that Messiah streams as well, but don't be afraid to check him out. He's gonna be talking about Danganronpa, so if you want to hear him yell about how good or bad those stories are, then you can check him out always. And Zero also sometimes streams, I believe. So don't be afraid to check him out too. But anyway, bad. How good or bad? Bad. Always bad. So if you want to hear Messiah, it'll be really funny, because I think Messiah is funny. Check him out sometimes. But as it is, we're going to raid into Mapafu. You all know her. She's always in chat, a sweetie pie. So be cool, be awesome, be polite, and make smart choices and drink your water. And if you don't want to stay for the raid, well, you know, just leave and have a swell time. Okay, bye! I'll see you on the flip side. Adios! And goodbye. Goodbye.